Hey y'all, and welcome back to my channel. Let's get into this mommy makeover. Look at that baby. She already over it. Okay, so as you can see, we've already done her shampoo and blow dry, and I've sectioned out her leave out. The first braid we're going to do is going to come from her right temple down and across the back. The second one is going to come from her left temple down and then across the back. The reason why I don't start this zigzag pattern straight out the gate is because you want that right at the nape of the neck. You want that transition from the weave to the person's leave out to be as flat as possible. And when you start zigzagging, it causes that little hump there that you have to contend with. So I don't zigzag right away. I at least do 2 going across the back, and then I'll zigzag the middle. Here I'm showing you how I'm bringing those top anchor braids, crisscrossing across each other and then straight down. Okay, so now that your anchor braids are solid, they're small, they're ready to go, the middle braids don't have to be as intense. The goal of this is for it to be as flat as possible. We want flat. So we want to go with the natural curve of the head, where the natural occipital bone ridge is, down to that flat nape. We want to follow that pattern almost exactly. Here you see I'm just crocheting that last braid into it, the rest of the braid pattern, and you can see I have some thread hanging there. Anything that's pooching out, hi Pookie. Anything pooching out, I will go ahead and sew so that it can be as flat as possible. So here, after I finish her braid down, I am oiling her scalp with Cecily's Organics. That's me. Yo, I have handcrafted this. It has 18 organic oils, none of that bad stuff, and it smells amazing, but also it really grows the hair. So if you want to grab some, CecilyWyatt.com, and I'll have the link in the description box. So, you know what's so crazy is for years I would use the net in the squares, and I would just, shape that net to fit the person's head. And I will be honest, I still do use that net, but I found that this has been a lot easier for me to just throw that cap on, sew that perimeter, and also a lot of times the net in the squares may not be as pliable and soft. And so if it's a little hard, I've had clients to complain about that, whereas this cap net is really soft. And so, man, I know it's like $1 per pack, but you only get 1 in there. But I'm really all about the comfort of my client, and I want them to have a good experience. They're going to keep their sewing in for, 2 months, some of them 3, and I want them to feel good about their experience. So, hey, let's go for it. Let's do the softer cap, and yeah. I find it easier to silk press the hair before I start the sewing. I can get those roots really good without trying to drag hair that's already sewn in or trying to clip that hair up and away. So I'll go ahead and silk press just that bottom or under leave out, and then the sides I'll leave to the end. It's personal preference. All right, so we got the under silked out, and now we're gonna go ahead and install these bundles. She bought me 3 bundles, and when they roll them up, the ends curl, so I will go ahead and put a little heat on those ends to straighten them out, and also it makes it really flat. So as you can see, I went through the weft on the very tips because I know the tips have a propensity to come undone if you don't do it like that. So I go through the very tips, and then the rest of it, I go around the track and around the braid. Or if there's no braid there, I'll just go around the net. And if you look closely, I have the final track separated into 2 so that when I fold it over, it's nice and flat. So I fold 1 over, and then I fold 2 over. And it's super, super flat. makes for a beautiful transition from that, where the track is down into the nape. Like if she rubs her hands down the back of her head, everything is going to feel flat, flat. As you can see, baby girl is down there super active right now. She is talking and all of the things. And I could tell, I'm like, okay, we're running out of time. She is going to implode here soon. She was really a good girl though, but I could tell like she was aware that she wasn't in her normal habitat. So she was down there working it out. But if you look here, you could see my tracks. You could see my loops. There's no hanging loops. Each one of my tracks are locked in. And what that means is instead of just sewing the thread in and pulling it out, you have to make sure that you bring the tip of that needle through the loop in order to secure the thread. This is why my sewings last 2, 3, 4 months. I've had somebody keep it in 6 months. I wouldn't recommend that. But it worked out for her. But with no slippage of tracks, the only thing that she had going on was the braid. The braid down was super loose, but none of her tracks came out, and she did not come in for maintenance. So this is how it should be. It shouldn't be where your tracks are sliding out because you didn't lock that thread in. And if you notice, I know I have it sped up, but I love a C needle because when I curve it in, it just sits out and I can just grab it. And so I can go super fast. So even though it's sped up, I'm not going much slower than the speed of the video. I actually do sew pretty fast, and I get my sew-ins done from start to finish in about 2 hours because I have mastered the craft of creating that loop and hi baby and going for it. I mean, she is sleeping good right here. She slept through the blow dry. She's just like, okay, I'm not gonna fight it anymore. Good night, everybody. I always love when my clients purchase their hair with me. I don't beat them up if they don't, but the reason I love my hair company. This hair that she brought me was from another company. And even though we put almost 3 bundles in her head, the hair still looks thin. And even trying to silk it out, I could tell I'm like, okay, this is not good quality hair. And so that's why I love my hair. I sell hair. It's Cambodian. It's raw. It's never been treated, and it is absolutely beautiful, and it's consistent. And so this hair, my flat iron is on high, and you can kind of see I'm turning on the big boy, it's a different flat iron to see if I can get a better result because it's not silking out the right way. And so I knew she was going to get curls, but I wanted to cut a couple of layers in it. And so I like to straighten the hair out before I do that and then cut the layers in it. And it's still, you could see a little wave there. It did okay. It did all right. But if you want to know more about my hair that I sell, it's also on my website, CecilyWhite.com, and I will have that in the description box below. All right, so I've got it soaked out as best I can, and now I'm going to go in and finish silking out her leave outs. Okay, so all soaked out, and right after this, baby girl woke up and went off like AWF on both of us. So I did not record the curl process. I just used my curling iron and just put some barrel curls in it, and this is the final look. She loved it. She looked beautiful. She felt beautiful, and she just could not stop smiling. I think her husband and her kids were looking for her, but listen, she was just looking like a whole snack, okay? Listen, I ain't gonna lie, I am that stalker stylist. I will follow you to your car, okay? She's trying to pack the bag. I'm like, girl, listen, let me see your hair, bro.